Oh my god. I'm literally at the border here.
We started our hike the next morning really early at about 5:30 am, which meant we had to wake up at 4. This was needed to ensure we experienced the mesmerizing sunrise and the rewarding sight of the sun-kissed sleeping Buddha revealing itself in all its glory. We then dropped our trekking bags at the Sabargram campsite and headed light to hit the Phalut summit.
And as we walk right aside the Kanchenjunga peaks, out of nowhere, all of a sudden, Mount Everest appears in the other direction. That was a big surprise. I didn't expect it right here. I thought we'll probably be seeing the peak from Phalut, but here it is. Oh my god. This here seals the deal when it comes to the Sandakphu Phalut trek. 3 of the 5 largest peaks in the world are right in front of us. Mount Everest, the one in front of it, which appears to be taller, is Mount Makalu, and the one behind Everest is Mount Lhotse. And right to this side is the Sleeping Buddha range with Kanchenjunga, Kumbhakarna, Kabru, north and south peaks, and Pandim at the rear. So one single place from where we can view some of the most famous peaks and some of the most tallest peaks in the world. Beyond words. I'm literally at the border here. The pillar on this side says Nepal, and on the other side says Bharat. So I finally reached Phalut. The view from here is amazing, with winds blowing all across, because this is one of the highest points in this state, the second highest peak in the state, and one of the highest points in this region. So naturally there's a lot of wind from around, and you get 360-degree panoramic views of mountains. Ramam, the village that's listed here, was where we had lunch on day 1 of our trek. The fact that it's 23 kilometers away from here feels mind-boggling now. By God's grace, we are at the summit of Phalut. Here it is. The weather gods have also been kind enough. We have got a very clear viewing of all of the peaks around, both from the western side, and also the omnipresence of the Sleeping Buddha. We are told that Kanchenjunga is about 35 kilometers and Mount Everest is about 65 kilometers from here, if you have the ability to fly straight. And after 17 kilometers of walking through the day, we've reached our Sabargram campsite over there, and I'm going to have a well-deserved crash soon after I get to my tent. hopefully a view of the sunset from the same point we viewed the sunrise from. But it's been one incredible hike today. We were given the expectation that today's hike would be kind of easy, but it has been the most difficult day among the 3 days that we had to hike. The two positives: we didn't have to carry our bags. The second is that we got a very good viewing of the two mighty peaks that always been fascinated by ever since these were brought up in geography lessons back in primary school. So one of the most happiest days for me in that sense. Good morning. This is day 5 of our trek, 4th day of trekking. We just had our breakfast at the Sabargram campsite, and we are headed to the next campsite at Al. So today it's just going to be a hop from one campsite to the other, a 13-kilometer walk on what is considered to be a mountain flat terrain, which means the net elevation gain is going to be close to zero, but then you have a lot of ascents and descents to cover. Had a very good viewing of the sunrise here this morning. The sheets of cloud hovering below us and the sun shining its rays onto Kanchenjunga and then onto Mount Everest and Makalu. And Lhotse was completely shadowed by Mount Everest. You could see that there was no sun ray that we could see on Lhotse. From Al, which is the campsite for this evening, we are told that the sunset view is going to be splendid. Looking forward to that. It's been so cold here that the water is completely frozen. This is actually water frozen into sheets of ice because of the winds that come this way thanks to the Kanchenjunga range. So the Indiahikes team has given us a card to jot down some memories from the trek, and they've also given us this custom bamboo with the trekker's name on it, with a message as well, for us to fill our experiences on the card. They have definitely set the bar very high when it comes to delivering the experiences for a trekker. This definitely was touching.
After a fun warm-up session to kickstart the day, we started our hike over flat meadows, some really tough sections, and some enjoyable descents. Brave the winds to reach Al in the late afternoon.
I'm here at Al at the campsite to witness the sunset. Here's the crew tucked in, having set up their tripods for capturing the time lapse of both the sunset as well as the sun setting on Kanchenjunga. Let's see how it's going to look like. The sun is about to set. In about 5 minutes time it's going to go beneath the clouds.
Right from the beginning of the trek, the Al sunset was hyped like Marlon Brando gets hyped in Apocalypse Now. And it did deliver gloriously like Brando does in the film, with the alpenglow on Everest and Kanchenjunga and the myriad of colors it gave rise to. Later that evening, to tackle the cold, we huddled around a campfire with scary trek stories
So he
from
woke up
athlete
and then he was
Aditya.
searching for the head torch. And by the time he was searching for the head torch, even the inner chain was open and he was pulled out of the tent with the sleeping.
Good morning. We are in day 6 of the trek and 5th day of trekking. After the sunset, we slept at Al yesterday night. Couldn't get great sleep because of the winds howling around us. Even though we had a dormitory sort of a setup here, it still felt really tough, and the sleeping bags definitely helped. Woke up in the morning. Now we are ready to climb our way to Sandakphu, which is a peak somewhere over there. That's the tallest peak in all of West Bengal, situated at an altitude of 11,900 feet. So that will be the second summit of this trek and the highest point that we'll reach to on this trek. And once we are done with that, we'll be heading back down to our next campsite at Gurdum, where we'll spend the evening and the night before heading back to our base camp at Sepi early tomorrow. So the trek is almost hitting its end, but still a summit to climb. We'll see how it goes.
After reaching the Sandakphu summit, we are descending down to our next campsite at Gurdum. It's going to be descent all the way down from here. The Sandakphu top, unlike Phalut, did not have a lot of open space or meadows at the top. There was only room enough for 20 people to just stand cramped against each other, and even that was made full use of by the group, taking pictures, clouds on the other side, which gave a backdrop for very nice pictures.